crafty friends. Welcome to From the Cup to the Hook conversation number 6. I hope you have had a wonderful week. I have spent some time off this week really focusing and spending time processing and setting up goals of what it is I really hope to accomplish as we come together week after week with our Fun Day Mondays, our Wednesdays on the Hook, and our From the Cup to the Hook conversations. And so I have kind of set up an outline of different topics already for our Fun Day Mondays and different projects for our Wednesday on the Hook, keeping in mind that I am loving your feedback and taking all of your suggestions and incorporating them. So keep those thoughts and suggestions coming, and we will definitely make them happen. And then most of my time was really focused on our conversations, our From the Cup to the Hook conversations. What topics do we want to try and cover every week? And I wanted to set it up in a way that it was kind of a outline that we would follow every Friday so that you knew what to expect, what was coming, and how you can participate to be a part of it. Because after all, this is about all of us. This is not about just me. So I want to make sure that everyone is interacting and that everyone feels like they have something to contribute, because you do. And of course, the goal, the biggest number one goal, is for us to go live with these so that we truly can interact in that moment. And we're going to get there. So in the meantime, though, I want to go ahead and get this kind of set up so you know what to expect. And so I have created a few more signs that will help us kind of, smoothly transition into each topic and category every week. And so with that being said, I first want to say thank you for coming back to my channel. Thank you for being a part of this, and let's get started. So, what's up? So what's new this week? First off, we just celebrated Easter, so happy Easter to everyone. I hope that you had a wonderful Easter. I know that it was unlike any Easter you have ever experienced. Not being able to go to church was probably the biggest and hardest part of it, because we're so used to having that fellowship with our church family and being able to see one another and to dress up and really just give God the glory. And we weren't able to do that in person, but luckily a good many of us were able to do that through Facebook Live and through Zoom and other social media platforms. And we really just kind of want to give a shout out to all of our pastors and ministry teams across the nation that have dedicated their time and efforts to making sure that we still get church every Sunday and Bible studies every Wednesday, and that they're doing things to just help us keep our spirits up. And with that, let's go into our next topic. How are you doing with your mental health? How are you keeping your spirits up? How are you staying connected with other folks? We are really blessed that we have all these different social platforms that allow us to stay cannected. And so I am so thankful because, as I shared last week, with this, kind of banned on traveling unless you're under, certain categories of driving to work or grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, you really have to stay off the roads and you have to stay home. And so I've not been able to reach out and see my children physically except for through these social media platforms. And I'm thankful because there was a time we didn't even have anything like this. And so it made it even more difficult. And so, I'm excited about that. My oldest son, I don't know if I shared with y'all, had come in contact with someone who had been exposed or had COVID-19, and he did have to get tested. And so he and his wife both had been home for quite some time, a little over a week. and they finally got the test results back, and he does not have it. So both of them are able to return to work and are very blessed that they are still healthy and that they have not gotten sick. And so I am very thankful and grateful for that. And so the last little bit of news that I have this week is I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers. She is one of my dear friends. We have been friends for quite some time, and I am not going to share how old she is turning, but she is having a birthday, and I want to wish Beverly a very happy birthday. Thank you for being one of my dearest friends, and I hope that your birthday is very special. I know that this is a very difficult time this year, and definitely not how one in their 70s would like to celebrate it, being alone. So she is coming to spend some time with me, and we're going to social distance between recliners, and we are going to just kind of have some girl time. So it may not be the best of birthdays, but she definitely will not be spending it alone. So let me know what's up, what's going on in your life. Be sure and leave your comments in the comment section. So the next thing is, what is in your cup today? What are you drinking? What has you refreshed and all bubbly inside? Because you know, part of fighting COVID-19 is keeping your throat moist. And so we want to definitely take care of our throat and keep it moist. And so today I have chosen just a simple glass of water. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, this is probably my third glass that I've had in the last hour, which those of you who know me know that that's pretty good. So definitely working on keeping the throat moist. All right. So let me know what you're drinking today. Last week, Miss Vicky responded and told me that she was drinking tea. And so the cool thing was, if we were talking live, I'd be able to ask her what kind of tea she was drinking. Is it sweet tea? Is it unsweetened tea? Is it flavored tea? Herbal tea? Green tea? So what are you drinking today? And what are your busy hooks up to? What you working on? Are you working on the hoodie? If you are, you should be getting really excited because it is almost complete. We are down to our very last episode this coming Wednesday. We'll talk about that more later. But what are your busy hooks working on? What you got going? For me, I still have not gone any further on my socks. So I still have that one little portion that I showed you. But I am definitely hoping that I will have more to show you next week, as I do hope to work on that quite a bit this weekend, as Miss Beverly and I are kind of hanging out, girl chatting, and, you know, watching Netflix. Again, I spent a good bit of time this week really trying to put some thought into how I can make our time together more meaningful. And so I did, though, get to go back and work on my oldest son's hoodie a little bit. And if you remember the last time I showed it to you, it was a small little rectangular square that made it look like a placemat. But I have completed the back piece. Let me turn it around. Nope, that was the right way. So I have completed the back piece. I got it, yeah, right there. I got an armpit that's trying to curl in. But that is going to be really, really pretty. And I know it's a guy's hoodie, so I shouldn't say pretty, but it's going to be really charming. But oh my gosh, I absolutely love those colors. And I was looking to see where my yarn is, and that yarn is a Red Heart Super Saver Ombre, and it is the colorway Anthracite. But that is just gorgeous. I love it. And I just love the way those colors are automatically on their own just coming out. It is very, very sharp. And you know, as I'm working on this, my husband's like, I would really, really like one of those. So I imagine I might be doing quite a few hoodies before it's all said and done. So don't be surprised if I keep coming to you with hoodies on the hook. All right, so that's all I've got going on right now. Besides the hoodie for Wednesday on the Hook, and I'm not going to show it to you. You can certainly go check out that video from the Wednesday on the Hook. It is kind of behind me a little bit, right there. And if you saw, it had a hood on it because I have been able to work ahead a little bit, and it is completed. But I don't want to give it away until next Wednesday. So I also was working on that, but I couldn't show you. I have also started working on the next project for Wednesday on the Hook, because another one of my goals is to make sure that I am at least a week ahead in all of my productions, so that you guys are definitely getting your videos each week on time, especially when sometimes I have to battle the uploading, and it may take a while. So my dogs are barking. They must see a kitty cat. I think I'm gonna have to pause. Yeah, let me pause and go get them. I have a closed-in front porch, and they were laying on the front porch, and sure enough, a cat had decided to come and sunbathe on the sidewalk leading to the mailbox, right where they can see, and they were having none of that. So they are now inside laying in their beds. What do your inquiring hooks want to know? What kind of questions do you have for me this week? Do you have any crochet questions? Any pattern questions? Let me know. What do your inquiring hooks want to know this week? I did get a question from Shanice Miller, and she wanted to know if we could create a baby diaper. So yes, that will be something that we will definitely try to incorporate and bring in one of our future Wednesdays on the Hook. So I want to thank everyone again for just coming back to my channel and being a part of this, and just hanging out with me and inviting me into your home, and just being a part of your crochet journey. And so because of that, it's important for me to kind of let you know where our journey is going. And so, how's the view from here? And this catchy little title is referring to the fact that I want to keep you updated every week with how many views I've had on my videos and how many new subscribers I have. Because again, I couldn't do any of this if there was no you. Otherwise, I would just be talking to myself, and well, where's the fun in that? None. because I may not like my own conversations, and I may not even like my own company. But in all seriousness, I couldn't do any of this without you. And so I'm very thankful and very grateful. So I kind of want to keep you abreast of where my journey is at and where it's taken me and where it's taking us. So how's the view from here? Last week when we came together, there was a total of 431 views on all the videos that I have done so far in the last 6 weeks. And as of today, we have a total of 500 views. That is 69 more views over the last 7 days. So thank you so much for inviting me into your home to be a part of your crochet journey and for hanging out with me and being a part of my crochet journey. And last week when we came together, we had a total of 26 subscribers. As of today, we have a total of 30. So I would like to send out a big shout out to the 4 subscribers that have joined us over the past week. And I hope that you will continue to ride this journey with us and just be a part of everything that we do week to week. Speaking of every week or from week to week, we have 3 different air times where we come together. And one of those is like exactly what we're doing right now. And it is our From the Cup to the Hook series that happens every Friday. And last week we talked about, our topic of the week was tangled yarn. Does it make you frustrated or do you like the challenge? And I shared that sometimes, oh my gosh, I'm beyond frustrated. Like, what? Not today. And then other times it's like, bring it on, because it's therapeutic and it's calming and it is relaxing, because my brain loves to solve things. I love to make things happen and see progress. I'm one of those that finds ironing absolutely enjoyable. Like I love seeing the art of wrinkles disappearing. And it's the same thing with puzzles. I love to see the different individual pieces make something beautiful. Untangling yarn at times can be satisfying for me. But then there's those days when I'm really wanting to work on a project and it's the last thing I need. So what about you? Vicki, thank you for your response. You did share to me that you do not like tangles. Tangled yarn is not your thing. And you actually said that I was lucky. And I am. My husband does participate and help me out. Doesn't mean he always enjoys it, because like me, sometimes it's frustrating, and then sometimes that challenge, you know, is just, you're going to get it. I am going to conquer this. And sometimes when my boys are around, especially my middle son, before he left for his military training, he would help me out a lot. In fact, he was really good about, after I finished a project, rolling my yarn up into balls for me, which eventually I am going to get a yarn ball winder, and I will be able to wind my skeins up into balls of yarn. I have been saving for a yarn winder, and I am hoping that by this summer I will actually be able to have my very own. So Vicki, I am with you. There are some days I don't like those tangles either. Or when I go to pull the gut of the skein out and it all comes out and it's all clumped together, and it's just like, ugh, frustrating. Because I want to work on my project and I can't, because I got to get all that untangled. So what about you? Let us know. So every week we will also go over cozy chats. these are shout outs to comments that you have shared with me, whether it be through the YouTube videos or on my Facebook account or on my Instagram or my Twitter, which is really funny. I have had my Twitter account now maybe 3 weeks, and I have not one single follower there. But that's okay, because you never know when you might have someone who's a Twitterer, if that's even a word, and if so, they might stumble across my channel and be like, oh my gosh. And so I will keep it going. But anyway, so however, my email, however you send me a comment, then we will do those little shout out cozy chats every week. And I think I'm going to do something kind of unusual and fun just to, again, bring the joy in these conversations every week. So I'll be right back. So you'll have to excuse the mess on my desk. But every time we have our cozy chats, yes, I know my little friend I'm fixing to introduce is a Christmas puppy. Isn't he adorable? And we'll play Christmas music, but it will just enlighten our hearts and bring a little bit of pep and joy. So every time we have cozy chats, comments from you guys, we will introduce this section of our conversation with our little happy friend. So excuse the mess on my desk, but get ready for our little friend here. Move my water out the way. So, our first cozy chat today was from Vicki. Thank you, Vicki. You thanked me for the Fun Day Monday episodes, and so we have had 2 so far, and the first one was on changing colors within your whips, which is your work in progress, and the second one was on making the angels. So if you have not seen those, definitely go give those a look into, and we'll talk about those more in just a little bit. And then, Vicki, you also mentioned that you also would like to make rugs and baskets. So we will even talk about that a little bit more in the next couple of weeks because, well, I'm not going to tell you because it's the topic for next week. So we'll just have to wait till next week to talk about that. But the last thing is I do want to touch base and make sure that I have cleared everything up and that everyone understands that yes, I do work at the hospital in my local town, but I am not a nurse. I do not work in the ER as a nurse. I do work in the ER in ER registration. I'm the one that you see when you first walk in, and I am the one that helps to get patients registered, verify their information, their insurance, and gather all their signatures for all the different forms that need to be signed during their visit. So while I do not save lives, I do like to think that I have a part in making a difference. But I did want to clarify that because I certainly don't want any misunderstanding on what it is that I currently do right now in my current job. So, all right. So that was all the cozy chats that we had this week, and hopefully we'll have some more. Please be sure and comment and let me know about your feelings about tangle yarn, if it's frustrating or if it is something that you absolutely love and are challenged by. But getting my questions back, the topic for today is, what are your pros and cons of being quarantined? Again, for some of you, you've been at home quarantined for quite some time. Others of you, it may have just started. And then there might be some like me who have not had to stay at home. And so let me know, what are your pros and what are your cons? And I did a little thing up on what my pros are. And yes, even though I am not having to stay at home and I'm not having to be quarantined, I still have some pros about if I were, and even during my time off, how I feel with all the stores and different avenues of entertainment being shut down and restaurants being closed, or only having, curbside pickup and not actual dine-in experience. So these are my pros. The first one is I would get to spend more time with my hubby, and that would be awesome because I think I've shared before, he is on a day schedule and I'm on a night schedule. We both work 12 hours. So literally we are two ships passing, and sometimes we don't get to pass at all. So I would definitely get more time with my hubby if I were at home being quarantined. The second thing is, my second passion is reading. I love to read, and I definitely love reading my Bible. And I would have more time to read mystery books, and I would have more time to read my Bible if I were quarantined and were staying at home. The third thing is, I would get to crochet a whole lot more. Them socks would have been made, baby. But I would definitely be crocheting a whole lot more if I was able to stay home and be quarantined. Sleep. I am finally learning that the older I get, and I'm getting up there, sleep. It is a definite requirement. What you don't know is that right now I have not only come home after working 13 hours, but I have not been to sleep yet. And we are making this happen. So sleep would definitely be on my list of pros if I were being at home quarantined. And relax. I would definitely relax. I would be, let me make sure it's not on here. I did not put it on there. Oh, yes, I did. It would come right down here. I would relax and movie binge and whoop, right there, crochet. I would be doing all three of those a lot for sure if I was at home being quarantined. So, and cook. I would be cooking a whole lot more. I love to cook. My husband loves it when I love to cook. But with my crazy schedule, I don't cook as much as I used to. And he does a lot of our cooking. And I'm very blessed for that. But I would be able to cook for him. And we would be able to enjoy those meals together. Home renovations. We are still currently renovating our home. We have been now for probably 2.5 years. And unfortunately, it has been probably about 4 months since we worked on the last project. And so we are trying to currently strip paint off of the door frames in our hallway. And so we have 2 rooms right now that are currently unusable, which is our guest bedroom and our youngest son's used to be room, which will become my husband's man cave, since I have this luxurious crochet yarn room, studio. That room will become his man cave, and of course the other bedroom that belonged to the boys is our guest bedroom now. And poor Miss Beverly, when she comes over, she will not be able to sleep in the guest bedroom, but she will have the opportunity of reclining in one of our new sofa recliners, or sleeping on the day bed over there here in my craft studio. So, but hopefully she won't mind as we give her a wonderful birthday celebration and a different change of pace than the white walls of her little cozy apartment. So anyway, we would be getting a lot more home renovations done. We are getting close. And you know what? I told a small little fib, because my husband did last weekend while I was working. He did work a little bit on another part of our home renovations. On the front porch, we have all around, it's a closed-in front porch, but it has those older windows where every little window glass slat can open, and it might have, like, I've never counted them, but maybe like 12 to 15 of those little slats per window. And he took off all the screens off of them and washed all the screens, and then sat there and washed all those slats out. And so when you walk on our porch now, it looks like a sun porch, because the way the sun shines through, everything's so bright. But we did get the carpet up off the floor, and we are going to paint that wood floor that's underneath there, and paint the walls in there and the ceiling. And then there's this nice little kind of shelf that runs around from the door opening around all those windows, and we're going to paint that. And then we're going to actually put some furniture out there for us to sit on, and I cannot wait, because I am technically more an outdoor girl than I am an indoor girl, and I love to breathe fresh air. And so anyway, so yes, we would definitely be getting more home renovations done. And then after that, after we finish the front porch and the hallway, we just need to get all that furniture out of the guest bedroom, because the guest bedroom is done, because it was originally my craft studio, until I got the brilliant idea that, we really don't use our dining room a whole lot. And so this used to be our dining room, and we used to use it a lot when the kids were growing up for homework time and Sunday meals. But now that the kids are grown and it's just the husband and I, Mr. Todd and I tend to eat more in the living room. So yeah, so my dining room is being well served as my new craft room, and which is great, because I like that better than having my guest bedroom and my craft room together. So, and even though I have the day bed in here, that's just extra added sleeping that we have for, being able to house more guests. But then after we finish that, we have to work on Mr. Todd's man cave, and all we have to do in there really is just pull the carpet up, because there is wood paneling all in that room. So we're definitely not painting over that wood paneling. We've spent more time in our renovations actually taking paint and removing it off of wood surfaces that are just absolutely gorgeous. And why would anybody cover that up with paint? I cannot figure out. But one day I'll do a tour with you and show you, especially the mantle and fireplace in our living room. It was just covered in layers and layers and layers and layers of paint. And we have successfully removed all that paint between myself and Todd and my youngest son and his girlfriend. And oh my gosh, that fireplace is so gorgeous. But anyway, And then after that, the only other thing we have to do on the inside is we've already renovated the living room, the kitchen, and the bathroom, and our bedroom, and the front bedroom, which is our guest room, my craft room. And so all we have left is the last bedroom, which is Mr. Todd's man cave to be, the hallway, the front porch, and the back porch. But in the bathroom, we do want to put a backslash around the wall there. We have one of those big barefoot claw tubs, and sometimes that water splashes onto the wall, and so I want to put a backsplash up around that wall, especially, you know, for in the future when we become grandparents and we have lovely little ducklings swimming around in that big old tub, that their little splashes will be protected from damaging the wall with that backsplash. So, and then after that, we have some renovations we want to do outside. So, you know, really cutting down some trees and trimming up some bushes and leveling out some land. We've got this one big, huge hill in our backyard, which doesn't really affect us any. However, it does affect my neighbors in the bottom, because when it rains, all the rain runs down that hill and into their yard and floods their yard. So, but it's not just our yard that floods their yard. But anyway, so, and then I had a lot of rose bushes that over time have been by various people accidentally mowed over, killed with weed poisoning. And so I would like to replenish my rose bushes because I do love fresh flowers. So yeah, anyway. The one I was the most saddest about was my yellow rose bush. It's been very hard to find a yellow rose bush, and that rose bush would bloom only one time. Every season, it would only bloom one time. So those roses never got cut because we enjoyed them right at our front door as we walked in. So anyway, all right. So yes, home renovations would definitely get done if we were self-quarantined and at home. And then we already talked about the movie binge, and I love playing games. One of my favorite pastimes when my boys were growing up was Friday nights, because we would play board games and we would have pizza or hot dogs or whatever their precious tiny little hearts would fancy and their requests were. And then we'd either watch a movie afterwards, and then usually we would snuggle down in the living room in sleeping bags and kind of camp out in our own living room. And so I miss those times. So we would definitely play more board games. And one that my children have introduced me to, the first time I ever played it was when we went to my middle son's graduation from Paris Island. And then we played it again his last night with us before going to Camp Geiger, and that is Cards Against Humanity. And right before all this happened and the governor started shutting down stores, we tried to go get one, and we got there and the store was closed. So I was a little bit sad, but my husband surprised me, and we had one arrive 2 days ago. So guess what Miss Beverly's going to do? She's going to get introduced to Cards Against Humanity this week. So a lot of fun, a lot of fun. All right. And the last thing is I would create more videos for you guys. So anyway, so those would be my pros if we got to spend more time at home being quarantined. Now, I probably should have done the cons first. I should have done the negative and then lifted it up with the positive, but that's okay. The cons, if we were quarantined and at home, would be no traveling. And my husband and I like to travel. That's one of our favorite pastimes. So we would not be able to travel. Con is not seeing my children, my precious children, and my family and my friends. You know, we miss seeing everybody, our church family. So yeah, that's definitely a con of this quarantine. And my husband's grandmother, not being able to see her is really sad and very, very hard. Not only on us, but definitely on her. We can't go to church. The church doors are closed right now because of the social distancing. And so that is definitely a huge con of being quarantined. And we can't take the dogs on walks or go to parks. A lot of our state parks have closed and the gates are locked up and you can't get in there. And as I mentioned either in conversation with someone, I think I mentioned it last week, our dogs are beginning to think that all of a sudden we just woke up one day and we become lazy humans because we don't take them anywhere. And they miss going on rides in the truck and they miss going to the parks. And so it's just kind of like, yeah, you know, this is where we live. Take us somewhere. And so even they don't understand. So yeah, that's very sad. Oh my gosh. Toilet paper and essential things are hard to find. And I will say that we finally looked up and found a roll or a package of toilet paper and was so excited. And we came home and we used it. And after each of us used it, it was just kind of like, what do you think about toilet paper? And it was just like awful. And you would think toilet paper is toilet paper, but it really isn't. We are big Angel Soft fans. And this toilet paper, I don't even remember what the brand of it was, but it was very thin. So thin that when you pull it, you literally, like when you're just trying to pull it normally off the roll, like you normally would, and it broke off one little square. Because it's so thin that just a slight tug, it was just like, I was like, what? Can't do my business with just one little square. So yeah, a con of all of this is you can't find the essential things that you need. So yeah, struggle to pay bills. If we were at home being self-quarantined and not able to go to our jobs, paying bills would be a struggle. And so I do hope everyone gets their stimulus checks, and I hope that that helps everyone out. You can't go shopping. Can't buy more yarn. Can't eat out. Can't go to restaurants. And can't go to movies and can't go to social outings. I used to enjoy going to several different little concerts with some of our church friends and, you know, going to the parks and watching movies in the park and, you know, doing fun little things, bowling, and stuff like that. And we can't do any of that. It's all closed down. I remember the other day, a couple of weeks ago when I was off, I was like, you know, maybe we'll grab Miss Beverly and go watch a matinee. We haven't been to the movies in like forever. And, yeah, well, that was because everything's closed down. That would be great, but not today, not that day. And my Women of Joy conference. It was supposed to be happening the first weekend in May, and it is sadly not. So those are my 10 pros and my 10 cons this way of what it would be if I were self-quarantined. Now, I did take a little bit further, but you don't have to. Tell me some of your pros and cons of being quarantined. But with that said, I want to talk 10 reasons, though, that I am still blessed, whether I'm quarantined or not. So I took and listed 10 pros of being quarantined and 10 cons of being quarantined. Here are 10 things that I would be blessed if I were quarantined. The first thing is my husband would be my support team, and he is my support team. And I am not going through this alone, so I am blessed. Secondly, my job is considered essential. And while it might be long and tiring at times, and help him pick up extra shifts here and there, it is essential. And so I am going to work. And at this current moment, paying bills is not a struggle because I still go and I still have all of my hours at the current moment. So I am blessed. Even if my toilet paper is thin and comes off in one little square at a time, I have toilet paper. Therefore, I am blessed. I have food to cook with. I have food to eat. I am blessed. I have a home and I have electricity. I have a roof over my head. We just had a horrible tornado come through here over the last weekend, and thankfully it did not have any damage to our home and our yard, and I am blessed. I have heat. I have air conditioner. I have light. I'm able to do my videos. I'm blessed because I have electricity. My children, my family, they're all healthy and safe. They are not affected at this current moment with COVID-19. I am blessed. I have technology. I have a phone. I have social media platforms. I'm able to stay connected with my children, my family, my church, Bible study. I am extremely blessed. I have a front porch that has nicely clean windows right now and the sun shines in. I can open those window slats and there's a beautiful breeze that comes through and I'm able to breathe in that fresh air, as well as my dogs. We are blessed. The conference, while it may not be happening the first weekend in May, that particular conference was rescheduled for the last weekend in May. However, if that doesn't even work for us, they're allowing us to choose one of the other conferences that are not filled up. And my girlfriend and I that are going on that conference, we have chosen to actually go to the one in October in Tennessee, in the mountains. This one happens to the one we go to every year. We go to the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina one, and we have been wanting to try the Tennessee one in the mountains. I love the mountains. I'm a mountain girl. She's a beach girl. I'm a mountain girl. But we get to go to the one in October in Tennessee, in Pigeon Forge, in the mountains. Yay! I'm blessed. And I get to teach YouTube, or crochet on YouTube. I am blessed. I still get to do my hobby. I still get to do what I love doing, crocheting and sharing it with you guys. I am blessed. And last of all, I may not be able to go shopping for yarn, but I think I'm blessed. So, what are your pros and cons of being quarantined? Told you you were going to need your pen and paper this week. So, that's your task. I really hope to see some answers. Because after all, it is a tough time. It is a scary time. But we do need to lift one another up. And at the end of the day, we do need to realize that for most of us, we are blessed. I know in South Carolina, there were several families that lost loved ones and lost homes because of the tornado. I know that there are families who have lost loved ones, even right here in our backyard. Not literally, but, in our town from COVID-19. And so, while it may not be the ideal situation for us, being home and being quarantined and social distancing is saving lives. It is helping this virus not have what it needs to feed and spread. And so therefore, if we really want to get to a point where we can come back together, then we need to stay home and be quarantined. All right, so moving along. Fun Day Monday happens every Monday, and last week, or the beginning of this week, we had a tutorial on making angels. And again, that was inspired by a young lady named Deborah from Florida, and she is going to make angels to send to our military soldiers. And if you look at my video, I had a picture on there of several different angels that I made, and one is going to my military son who is stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, finishing up his MOS training, which has not started because he's in a holding platoon waiting to be picked up, and COVID-19 has also slowed things down a little bit with that. So wanted to send one of encouragement to him, and I'm hoping to get that out to him tomorrow. And then another one was made for a recruit that got injured that went with him from Fort Jackson to Parris Island, and she had gotten injured, re-injured that injury, and has been sent home to recuperate and can re-enlist to go back to Parris Island in the future. So I wanted to send one to her to encourage her. And then 4 of them I did in a burgundy color for my work partner who lost her stepdad last week, and they are for her and her mom and her 2 daughters. So that was our tutorial this past week. This coming Monday, please join us. We're going to have a tutorial on the standard yarn weight system. So it will talk about what each weight, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, what that means and what that yarn, looks like to be considered in that weight category. So you'll definitely want to check that out, especially if you're new and you're not really certain about the different yarn weights. So Wednesday on the hook, we have been working on making a hoodie, and this past week we did session number 5, which was assembling the body of the hoodie and shaping the shoulders and sewing them together and putting the sleeves onto the hoodie. So the hoodie is completely made, but it lacks the star feature, which is the hood. And that is what we will be doing this coming Wednesday on the hook, is creating that hood and then giving an edging to the hood, to the cuffs of the sleeves, and then to the waistband. And then the hood will be done. And so next Friday, I will share what our new Wednesday on the Hook series project will be. And I'm so excited about it. So yeah, tune in to next Friday to find out what our new project will be. All right. And especially because of everything that we're going through with this whole quarantine, coronavirus, which is not over, and it's not the only one out there and not the only one that's going to be coming, the COVID-19, all of that, trying to lift one another up, I decided to stick a new category into these talks, and it is called Joy Basket Moments. And what does that mean? I want to fill your joy basket. So I want to send you off every Friday with the start of your weekend and moving into next week until we come back, just filling you with joy and encouraging you. And the main way that I'm going to do that is hopefully just our time together, but also I want to share with you moments of peace in the presence of God. Now, with that being said, I understand that not everybody may be comfortable with this part of my video, and I certainly respect that and understand that. And so that's why I do plan on putting this at the end of our videos, so that either you can fast forward through this if you are uncomfortable with it, or you can go ahead and stop the video. But I'm definitely not trying to encourage that. I rather would encourage you. And so I hope that this is something that you'll find to be uplifting. It is definitely a part of my life, my relationship with the Lord. And so I definitely have been filled with joy from Him and taken care of by Him. And it is my destiny and legacy to share that love and joy with everyone as well. So we're going to just look at a little brief devotion, and it's called God Will Deliver You. And it is today's devotion, and I feel like it is so appropriate for this time and everything that we're going through and the uncertainty. And so the first verse that they share is, the king said to Daniel, may your God, whom you are serving continually, deliver you. Daniel 6:16. And then the second one says, God rescues and saves people and does mighty miracles in heaven and on earth. He is the one who saved Daniel from the power of the lions. Daniel 6:27. And so God is saving us right here on earth. And right now our lion is this COVID-19. And He is going to carry us and get us through this terrible time. And so it says, Daniel was guilty of praying to God in direct conflict with the Persian decree that people should pray to no one except the king. So Daniel was sentenced to the lion's den, a certain death. Yet when the morning came, Daniel had not been devoured. God had shut the mouths of the lions. It seems an amazing story, but it is consistent with the character of God. When others punish you for being faithful to Him, He does astounding things to help you, even saving you from the jaws of lions. So I want to lift you up with saying, serve Him faithfully today and do not fear what others will do or what viruses may come, because your God will certainly deliver you in a marvelous way. Dear God, you really do amaze me. Thank you that I can serve you faithfully with the assurance of your help and protection. Amen. All right. Well, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and then slide over and hit the bell so that you don't miss any future videos. If you like this video, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. Please leave comments so that we can share them next week in our conversation. Be sure and tell all your crafty friends about us. And most definitely, be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, and create your own joyful creations this week. I love you guys. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you hopefully on Monday for Fun Day Monday. And take care.